Hello again. Today I'm going to be doing a book and movie review for 50 Shades Freed. Uh, uh, it's I need to give you some context about how I got to read these books. If anybody looks at BookTube, especially BookTube newbie tags, you're going to see the biggest reason BookTubers do this is to talk books about with people because usually they don't have people around them that like books as much of them or don't read a lot of books. And I am pretty much in the same boat. My wife does not read a lot of books. I believe these 50 Shades books are pretty much the only books she's read in the last couple of years. So when she found a book series that she read and she really loved, and the movie was coming out, 50 Shades of Grey, I was like, okay, I will read these books. So I'll read 50 Shades of Grey before the movie comes out, so I'll know what's all about. And I did not like 50 Shades of Grey. I know that I wasn't the target audience, but I had some real problems with the concept of this guy being basically, in my mind, a domineering, abusive, misogynistic jerk. Okay, stay with me if you like these novels though. I had a problem with 50 Shades of Grey. I had a real problem with the first book. Um, I remember, there is a scene in this book where, I'm not this book, but in 50 Shades of Grey, where it's pretty much, non-consensual sex, or in other terms, rape. I thought was in that first book. I remember reading that passage and like wanting to throw it, although I think I did throw it across the room because I was so upset with the way that the way it had this whole stereotype here about this really bad boy that this girl can fix, and it didn't show BDSM in the correct light. It had to me, it had a lot of problems. I did not like the first 50 Shades of Grey book. Okay, when I saw the movie, I honestly felt like they improved on the book. I thought, they took away that rape scene, or they lessened it a little bit. And I thought, they polished it up a little bit of a crappy book, and they polished it up and they made it mediocre, I guess. But it was something that I was like, okay, I thought it was better. My wife did not like the first movie. But I honestly thought the first movie improved upon material that I didn't think was that good. Okay. Fast forward to the second book, and again, I read it just before the movie came out, and I thought the second book was better than the first, but it still had a lot of problems. He still was a domineering jerk. There still was a lot of, controlling interest I did not like in the book. It was a little better, and I honestly thought that the movie missed out on some things I thought were interesting in the book. Some plot points in the book, in the second book, that I thought should have been in the second movie. And I thought that honestly, in that respect, I thought the movie was a little bit better than the book. I mean, better book. The movie was worse than the book, and the book was actually a little bit better in the second book. Now I'm up to the third book. I just finished the third book. I just saw the movie yesterday, and I can honestly say that this is probably the best book of the series. My wife said it was the best book, and when I read it, I agreed with her. I said, yes, this is the best book in my mind of the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. Doesn't say much, but it is the best book. While he is a dick in this book as well as he was in the first two books, it's not as much. The BDSM isn't kind of looked at as something of a disease in a way. It's done in a very healthier way than the first two books dealt with it. There is one scene that you'll see in the movie too, that it wasn't as healthy as it should have been, but in general, this is a better book than the first two. And I don't know, maybe since I've read three books now, I've warmed up a little bit more with this book. Still not a great book, but it's better than the first two. And I did like the movie. I honestly thought the movie was okay. I had some problems with the movie. I I think they were basically kind of too. I mean, there's a lot of cutout. Obviously, this is a huge book. You can't cover everything that's in a book in a movie. So there are some huge chunks of this story that are cut out from the movie. But there are two things. One thing that's not in the movie, where Christian talks about his abuse as a child that I thought should have been in the movie, and another part of the movie where, not to spoil too much if you're reading this, but another part of the movie where Christian believes that Anastasia is going to be leaving him. In the book, I think it does it way better. I think it actually has a couple of lines where you really feel the hurt in his voice, and it adds, like I said, adds a couple of lines where you really believe that he thinks that she's leaving him. In the movie, right away you realize he doesn't think that she's leaving him. That's what I got from that. So, in my review of this book and the movie, I think if you're a fan of the movie, a fan of the book, I think you'll like the movie. I don't think you'll have a problem with the movie. If you're not a fan of 50 Shades, this is better than the original 50 Shades, but it's still basically kind of the same characters. They're just a little bit more healthier in this book than they were in the first two books. He still does some domineering things that are kind of annoying to me, but in general, I don't think this was the best book of the three, if that's my way of saying it. And that's my review for the movie and the book of 50 Shades Freed. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.